Hi everyone, and welcome to this Cambridge Secondary video on managing mixed ability classes. I'm Delia, and in this video we'll be looking at some of the ways that you can overcome the challenge of teaching mixed ability classes. It's incredibly common for teachers to have problems with different levels of students in their classes. After all, our students are individuals, and inevitably there will be stronger and weaker students. But performance isn't just about being good at English. There are actually many reasons why students may or may not be successful in class. Motivation, maturity, and learning preferences all play a part. An unmotivated student is likely to rush through their tasks, fail to check their answers, and make mistakes through carelessness rather than lack of ability. Young or less mature students may lack the learning techniques to understand task instructions or lack critical thinking skills to answer discussion questions. Different students will prefer different types of tasks. An introverted student may struggle with speaking tasks, whereas an energetic and chatty student may struggle to concentrate on a piece of writing. The important thing to remember is that every learner has the ability to succeed. Adolescence is a time when the brain is still developing. New connections are being made every day. With regular use, those connections become stronger and stronger through repetition, through practice. We need to tell our students this, so they know they have the capacity to improve and that there is no such thing as "I'm rubbish at English." So in an ideal world, you would personalise every lesson to every student to cater for their level of motivation, ability, preferred learning style, maturity, and so on. But in reality, it's impossible to do that. So let's have a look at a few techniques to try when you're teaching a mixed ability class. Tip number 1. Use formative assessment to inform your approach. The first step in overcoming the challenges of teaching a mixed ability group is to assess each student's strengths and weaknesses. This could be done formally, through a placement test or needs analysis, or informally, by monitoring their performance in class. This will give you a good idea of student needs when it comes to setting work. Tip number 2. Use differentiated materials. Many coursebooks have differentiated tasks for different levels already included. If you're making or adapting your own, you could do it in many different ways. Get all students to do the same basic questions, moving on to more challenging questions if they have time. Or set the same task, for example a writing task, but let stronger students free write and give weaker students prompts or gap-fill versions. Or set the same task for everyone, but have add-on tasks for any students who finish early. The downside to differentiating in this way is that it can draw unwelcome attention to students' abilities and lead to a loss of confidence or demotivation. That's when you might want to use other techniques for differentiation, or make it less obvious that the materials are differentiated. Tip number 3. Think about how you group students. It's easy to get into a routine of putting students in the same groups all the time, either based on their ability or where they sit in the classroom, or simply who they're friends with. But mixing up the groups depending on the task can have huge benefits. For example, if you group students of a similar ability together, you can set a different level of challenge depending on the ability of the group. And you are able to give support to all the weaker students at the same time. Alternatively, in mixed ability groups, students can benefit from peer support and correction. To avoid stronger students dominating, make sure that weaker students hold key information or have a leadership role in the activity. Tip number 4. Give students a choice. Having an element of choice in class greatly increases motivation and confidence. Where possible, provide a range of task types, different levels, topics, or activities for students to choose from. One of Penny Ear's favourite techniques is to compose or adapt 10 to 15 short tasks and put them on a table in the classroom. Students can come up and choose which task they want to do. And once they've completed it, they can bring it back and choose another. Depending on the size of the class, you may need several versions of each task. This allows students to work at their own pace and choose activities they are interested in and feel comfortable with. Tip number 5. Provide scaffolding. When you're planning a lesson, think about where students may struggle and incorporate extra scaffolding to help them. Break down larger tasks into stages. For speaking and writing activities, provide a model and spend some time looking at useful phrases, vocabulary and structure before they begin. For more creative tasks, like fiction writing, bear in mind that students may struggle to come up with ideas. So write up some ideas on the board to stimulate their imagination. As students get more confident, you should gradually be able to rely on less scaffolding. That's all from me. Thanks for watching. And why not check out our other Cambridge Secondary videos on the Cambridge ELT YouTube channel.